I need y'all to really hear me on this one. This is gonna seem weird, but I promise, I know what I'm doing. You gotta put your age in your mind right now. Write it down. Feel it. Then I want you to think, how old do you want to be when you leave this earth? Don't matter what religion you follow. Don't matter what politics you believe. One thing we all know, none of us are living forever. I guarantee you won't be here 150 years from now. Not gonna happen. So the real question is, how old are you today? And how long do you actually want to spend on this planet? Because once you get that, everything changes. When you're young, you think you got forever. You wake up in your 20s thinking you can make mistakes, thinking life's just gonna wait for you, but it won't. I'm 51 years old, and I just looked at my grandma who's 91, and I realized time don't stop. Those decisions you make now, they follow you. I grew up in Detroit. I was homeless, eating out of trash cans, abandoned buildings, living day to day. But a man named Bob took me off the streets, brought me to church, helped me get my GED, and eventually college. 12 years for a 4-year degree because I didn't know better. I didn't read right. I didn't write right. But my life changed because I made different choices. And that's what I'm telling you. Every single one of you has to set a standard. You cannot be a champion without a standard. What's your standard gonna be? How you gonna live? How you gonna eat? How you gonna pray? How you gonna treat your family? How you gonna handle your business? How you gonna treat yourself? Because here's the truth. Champions are not made in the moment. They're made every day. From the habits, the discipline, the non-negotiables you put in place. I've been waking up at 3 a.m. since I was 19, praying, putting God first, being faithful. To one woman my whole life, grinding, learning, pushing, building, because that's my standard. And that standard? It made me a multimillionaire. It made me a father. It made me a man who can influence generations. I don't care what you say about your life. I don't care about your environment, your struggles, what people around you are doing. You gotta decide right now what your standard is, and then you gotta live it every single day. Because if you don't, the world's gonna decide it for you. And most people don't like the way that turns out. So write it down, feel it, commit to it, and don't ever let anyone, including yourself, tell you that your standard is too high. Champions are those who set the bar, live it, and then drag everyone else up with them. Listen, I need you to hear me real clear right now. The first key to setting a standard, the first key to dominating your life, the first key to building a future that you don't have to apologize for, is understanding that life is finite. That's right, finite. You are not going to be here forever. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you start living with purpose. You wake up every day thinking you got time, thinking you got a second chance tomorrow, thinking life's just gonna roll the way it rolls. But I'm telling you, it doesn't work that way. You've got a limited number of breaths, a limited number of heartbeats, and the choices you make today echo decades from now. You think you can waste your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, and somehow make up for it when you're 50? That's a lie you're telling yourself. I know because I've seen it. I've watched people squander opportunities thinking, I'll get another shot. And some of us don't get another shot. I want you to picture this. You wake up, you're young, full of energy, full of dreams, but you're acting like you're immortal. You're partying, you're cutting corners, you're letting distractions steal your focus. And what happens? You wake up 10, 15 years later and you're asking, where did my life go? Why don't I have what I wanted? I'm telling you right now, the people who succeed, the people who rise, the people who become legends, they understood time is precious. They understood life is short. They understood that every decision, every action, every sacrifice counts. You cannot waste it, not a second. And this ain't just about money. This ain't just about success. This is about your legacy, your family, your health, your mind, your spirit. The finite nature of life means that you've got to be intentional about who you become, what you do, and how you spend your moments. If you spend your time on nonsense, you're going to regret it. And don't even get me started on the people around you. You've got friends, you've got family, and most of the time, they're not going to push you to your highest standard. They're just going to accept you where you are. And that's why you gotta understand the value of your own life, the limited number of days you have, and make decisions accordingly. I woke up one morning thinking about my grandma. She's 91 years old. I remembered her when she was in her 40s. I realized that time moves fast, man. Life doesn't slow down, it doesn't pause. And that's why, when you're setting a standard, when you're creating a life that matters, you've gotta act like every day is precious. You've gotta act like every choice is gonna impact decades from now. Because it is. The first key to rising, the first key to winning, the first key to living your best life is understanding that time is limited. Life is finite, and you've got to treat it that way every single day. Your time is now. Your life is now. Your standard starts today. Listen to me. If you want to set a standard, if you want to rise above mediocrity, if you want to build a life that matters, then you have to understand the power of discipline. I'm not talking about discipline for a week, for a month, for a year. I'm talking about discipline for life. Discipline is what separates the people who dream from the people who do. You can have all the talent in the world, all the intelligence, all the ideas, all the opportunities, but if you don't have discipline, if you don't have the ability to control yourself, to show up, to grind, to do what others won't do, when nobody's watching, then you're never going to rise to the level you're capable of. I'm telling you right now, discipline is not a suggestion, it's a requirement. See, here's the problem with a lot of people. They want success, they want results, they want greatness, but they want it with convenience. They want it with ease. They want it without sacrifice. Let me tell you something. The price of greatness is paid in discipline. It's paid in the small, consistent actions that nobody notices. It's waking up when it's dark outside and everyone else is still asleep. It's doing the work when nobody else cares. It's saying no to temptations that steal your focus, steal your energy, steal your future. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And if you don't understand that bridge, if you don't walk that bridge every day, you're never going to arrive. Now, I want you to understand something else. Discipline is not just about working hard, it's about controlling yourself. It's about your thoughts, your habits, your environment. It's about the people you allow around you. You can't surround yourself with chaos and expect discipline to manifest. You can't be in a space where distractions dominate and think you're going to rise above. You've got to be intentional. You've got to plan. You've got to structure your life so that every choice you make moves you closer to your standard. Discipline is not easy. It's uncomfortable. It's inconvenient. But it's necessary if you want to be exceptional. And listen, discipline isn't just about what you do, it's about consistency. It's showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, even when the world is against you. It's holding yourself accountable when nobody else will. Most people quit because they feel temporary discomfort. But discipline allows you to endure discomfort, to embrace struggle, to push through pain, to get results that most people will never see. Discipline is what builds character. Discipline is what builds resilience. Discipline is what sets the standard for your life. So if you want to rise, if you want to win, if you want to leave a legacy, understand this. Talent without discipline is wasted. Ideas without discipline are meaningless. Dreams without discipline are illusions. You've got to be willing to do what others won't do, to sacrifice what others won't sacrifice, and to hold yourself to a standard that nobody else holds. You too. Discipline is the foundation, the fuel, the engine that drives everything you're chasing. You want to be great? You want to set a standard? Then embrace discipline. Live it, breathe it, bleed it, because without it, nothing else matters. Listen to me. If you want to set a standard and live a life that matters, you have to understand the power of focus. Focus is not just paying attention. It's committing yourself to the one thing that will take you where you want to go. Most people fail not because they're not smart, not because they don't have talent, but because they scatter themselves. They're chasing 100 things at once, trying to be everywhere, do everything, please everybody, and at the end of the day, they accomplish nothing. Let me tell you something. Focus is the difference between a dreamer and a doer. Focus is what turns ideas into results, potential into greatness, and effort into impact. See, here's the thing about focus. It's not just about what you do, it's about what you don't do. It's about saying no to distractions, no to people who don't understand your vision, no to habits that slow you down, no to things that make you comfortable but don't make you grow. Focus is a choice every single day. It's deciding that your dreams, your goals, your standard for life are more important than the instant gratification that's trying to steal your energy. Focus is about cutting out the noise, shutting out the critics, and putting all your time, all your energy, all your heart into the things that will move you forward. And let me tell you something else. Focus is not easy. It's uncomfortable. It demands sacrifice. It requires discipline. You're going to have to give up some friends, some parties, some habits that you love, but that don't serve your future. You're going to have to work when others are playing, to study when others are sleeping, to grind when others are relaxing. Focus asks for patience because it's not about instant results, it's about long-term vision. It's about committing to a path and walking it every single day, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when you feel like quitting. Most people fail because they never learn the power of focus. They let their attention wander. They chase every opportunity that looks shiny, every voice that's loud, every distraction that comes across their path. But champions, men and women who set standards and leave legacies, they understand that focus is everything. They understand that when you focus on the right things, the right people, the right habits, your energy multiplies, your results compound, and your life transforms. Focus makes you unstoppable because your mind becomes a weapon, your vision becomes clear, and your actions become intentional. So listen carefully if you want to live a life of purpose. If you want to set a standard, if you want to rise above mediocrity, you've got to get serious about focus. You've got to eliminate distractions. You've got to protect your time. You've got to guard your energy. You've got to invest yourself in the things that matter most and ignore everything else. Focus is not a one-time event, it's a lifestyle. It's what separates the people who talk from the people who do, the people who wish from the people who win, and the people who dream from the people who leave a legacy. If you want to achieve greatness, you've got to focus, and you've got to focus hard. Listen to me, if you want to set a standard, if you want to live a life that matters, you have to understand the power of consistency. Consistency is not just showing up when you feel like it. Consistency is showing up when nobody is watching, when the world is asleep, when the doubt is screaming at you, and you're tired as hell. Consistency is what separates the people who talk about their dreams from the people who actually achieve them. You can have talent, you can have potential, you can have opportunity, but if you are not consistent, it will all disappear. Let me tell you something. Most people fail because they are inconsistent. They start with fire, they start with energy, they start with motivation, but after a few days, a few weeks, a few months, the fire dies out. And why? Because life gets hard, challenges come, distractions pop up, and they quit. Champions don't quit. Champions understand that consistency is not sexy, it's not glamorous, it's not exciting. Consistency is showing up, doing the work, grinding every day, putting in the effort when nobody is clapping for you, when nobody is noticing. Consistency is the real secret. See, consistency compounds. Small steps repeated every day create massive results over time. You may not see it in the beginning. You may not feel it in the first month, maybe even the first year. But I promise you, if you stay consistent, if you keep doing the work, if you refuse to quit, life will start to bend in your favor. Consistency turns ordinary people into extraordinary people. Consistency turns average actions into extraordinary outcomes. Consistency is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. And here's the hard truth, consistency requires sacrifice. You're going to have to do things every day that you don't want to do. You're going to have to show up when it's inconvenient. You're going to have to push through fatigue, push through doubt, push through fear. Most people will give up at the first sign of discomfort, but not you. Not if you want to set a standard. Not if you want to leave a legacy. Consistency is built in the moments when nobody else is willing to work, in the moments when the easy choice is to quit, in the moments when you have to go one more round, one more hour, one more hour, one more day. And let me be clear, consistency is not just about work. Consistency applies to your character, your standards, your faith, your family, your health. Showing up for yourself every day, doing what you said you would do, keeping your commitments, protecting your time, and honoring your values, that is consistency. That is what builds respect. That is what builds trust. That is what builds results. So, listen carefully. If you want to rise above, if you want to set a standard, if you want to create a life of impact, you have to commit to consistency. You have to commit to the long game. You have to commit to doing the work every day, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when it seems like nobody cares. Because over time, your consistency will speak louder than your words, louder than your talent, louder than your excuses, louder than everything else. Consistency is the weapon of champions, and if you master it, nothing can stop you. Listen to me. If you want to set a standard, if you want to live a life that matters, you have to understand the power of your environment. I'm not just talking about where you live or who you live with. I'm talking about the energy, the people, the habits, the influences that surround you every single day. Your environment will either lift you up or drag you down. Most people don't fail because they aren't talented. Most people fail because they stay in environments that don't allow them to grow, that don't demand more from them, that don't push them to be better. See, your environment is like the soil for your life. If you plant seeds in rocky, dry soil, nothing is going to grow. But if you plant seeds in fertile, rich, healthy soil, those seeds are going to thrive. And who you surround yourself with matters. Who you talk to, who you spend your time with, who you let into your circle, it all matters. I don't care how good your intentions are. If you're in a toxic environment, if you're hanging around people who are lazy, negative, or always complaining, it will be hard for you to rise to the level you're capable of. You can't outgrow the people you hang around with. You become a reflection of your environment. And here's the thing. Sometimes the hardest part about changing your environment is realizing it's not personal. Your family might not be ready for your growth. Your friends might not understand your vision. Your community might not support your ambition. And that's okay. Growth is often lonely. But what you can do is make intentional choices about who and what you allow into your life. You can find mentors, coaches, people who push you, people who challenge you, people who demand excellence. You can immerse yourself in environments that inspire greatness, that make excuses irrelevant, that set the bar higher every single day. Your environment also includes the media you consume, the places you go, the energy you absorb. If you're constantly scrolling social media, comparing yourself to others, absorbing negativity, guess what? That becomes your reality. You have to be intentional about what you allow to shape your mind. You have to curate your environment. Like a master sculptor, cutting away the things that don't serve you, amplifying the things that make you stronger, smarter, more disciplined, more focused. And here's the real truth. Your environment can accelerate your life faster than your talent alone. You can work harder, you can grind longer, you can dream bigger. But if the environment around you is not aligned with your goals, it will slow you down, distract you, and sometimes even destroy you. You have to be willing to walk away from comfort, from familiarity, from people who are holding you back, even if it hurts, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's lonely. So understand this: you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You are the energy you allow into your life. You are the habits you repeat and the standards you accept from your environment. If you want to set a standard, if you want to leave a legacy, if you want to rise above, you must control your environment. You must protect it, curate it, elevate it, and surround yourself with excellence every single day. Because when you do, your potential will no longer be limited by the world around you. It will be unleashed.